The final day of the party's annual conference in Liverpool began with the completion of voting on key motions. The chair presiding over the session called the final votes. See all those in favour? Looks pretty over, but anyway, can I see those against? Thank you very much. That looks like to me, I won't say it's you, but it's very overwhelming. Now, composite 6 in water again. Can I see those in favour? We're, again, overwhelmingly carried. Thank you very much. Thank you, conference. With that, the chair concluded the day's votes and introduced the next speaker. That concludes the votes for today. Can you please welcome Shabana Mahmood, who will be taking over from me as the chair. Taking the podium for the first time as chair of the party's National Executive Committee, NEC, Shabana Mahmood opened with gratitude. Thank you very much, conference, and thank you for being here on the final day as we close our conference. First to arrive and last to leave. We are the great survivors. She spoke warmly to the dedicated delegates who had stayed to the end. Some might say there is a touch of masochism to those of us who are still here, but I think that we know we are really the very best of our movement, not here for the parties, but for the panels, not here for the drinks, but for the debates, and not here for the questionable karaoke at the mirror party, but for the motions on the floor of conference. Mahmood thanked everyone who contributed to the conference, recognizing both speakers and delegates. You are what makes this party what it is, a movement that is greater than the sum of its parts. More even than that, we are a family, a little dysfunctional at times perhaps, but a family just the same. Reflecting on her decade-long service on the NEC, Mahmood recalled tough periods for the party. Some of them were dark years for our party, but they were years in which we steered ourselves away from the brink of irrelevance. They were the years that we reconnected our party with the working class communities that we exist to serve. They were the years when we earned our right to be a party of power once more. Today I become chair in what are dark days once more, but now the situation is different. There is not a darkness in our party. There is a darkness in our country. As the Prime Minister himself said yesterday, we find ourselves engaged in a fight for the soul of this country. And we have a choice between fear and hope, between division and decency, between grievance and renewal. It is a vision of an open, tolerant, generous place. It is a patriotism that speaks but does not feel the need to shout. It is one that embraces those who trace their roots here back 1,000 years and also those who look like me. It is a patriotism that accepts that some things about our country will change, but that there is something essential that will always endure. It is the patriotism of a greater Britain, not a littler England. We have met in a moment in which a patriotism like this is at risk. A growing number are turning instead towards something smaller, something more divisive, something darker, something a lot more like ethnoism, a vision of this country that finds no room for me within it. I refuse to give up my belief that we can still reach out to people because I know that we still have the power to persuade. Yes, we are in a fight, but that fight is far from over. And if there is one thing I know about the Labour Party, it is that we are always up for a fight and we fight to win. Mahmood praised the concrete commitments made during the gathering. From the stage, our Prime Minister and Cabinet have set out the change that we are bringing to this country. A Hillsborough law that rights a decades-old injustice, a defining new target that lifts vocational education to where it should be, equal to or even greater than a university education, a library in every primary school, giving every child the kind of opportunity that only comes from a good start in life, and the next generation of new towns across this country, following in the footsteps of Attlee's New Jerusalem, and in my own brief, a migration system that is fair for all above all else. One thing has been clear to me at this conference. We know the scale of the challenge that we face. We know that working class communities across this country are calling out for change. That change is underway. Yes, change takes time, but change is coming. And together, I know that we will renew this country. With the main speeches concluded, Mahmood led the conference in thanking those who had made the event possible. She named the staff of the ACC Liverpool, hotels, Merseyside Police, Securitas and Carlisle Stewarding, accessibility stewards, production teams such as Barefoot Live and Broadsword, interpreters, childcare providers and Labour Party staff. We wouldn't be here without them, and they're frankly bloody brilliant. To conclude the gathering, Mahmood invited Anna Marie Newton, accompanied by Stephen Mannings, to lead the traditional renditions of the Red Flag and Jerusalem, then raised the Scarlet Standard high. Beneath its shade will live or die. Though cowards flinch and traitors sneer, we'll keep the red flag flying here. The conference ended on that symbolic note of unity and determination, with applause ringing across the hall.